Hello, and welcome to this edition of Hunter News Now. I'm Nick Augustine.
And I'm Laura Bennon.
Election season is underway at Hunter. Students are voting for all USG positions for the 2017-2018 school year. But this year, the party known as Hunter United is the only party fielding candidates. Students running for undergraduate student government are out campaigning. Senior Yassine Ahmed, who is running for Student Welfare Commissioner, is doing everything he can to get your vote, including giving out free food between classes.
I think tabling is a big part because a lot of people are walking down the halls. We'll have tables, banners, and food giveaways.
Students have also been using social media campaigns, which they say are vital in commuter schools like Hunter. However, some students still feel left out of the process. Third-year student Darnell Griffith, who transferred from BMCC, says elections there were much more inclusive of the student body.
I think the problem isn't so much how much they do, but how they do it. A little bit goes a long way. Leave some flyers, leave some posters, maybe not read to the last week because...
Students will also be voting on the controversial referendum that seeks to reallocate student activity funds. Ballots have been sent to your Hunter email, and you can vote until May 5th.
Many college students across the country are struggling to graduate in 4 years, and Hunter is no exception. According to collegeportraits.org, Hunter's graduation rate stands at almost 24% in 4 years. That's a big improvement from only 13% in 2001 when President Jennifer Raab took over. But why aren't more students graduating on time? Ricardo Montero has some answers.
This is Medina Bakiri, an English major, and this is her 6th year at Hunter, and she has yet to graduate.
Through a lot of personal issues and work and just family stuff, it became a lot harder for me to finish my classes. Instead of doing my essays or approaching the teacher to explain my issues, I would just kind of drop a course, or I would just stop showing up, and that's been something that I've been struggling with. But also just working full-time.
Medina is a super senior, a popular term for students that spend more than 4 years earning their bachelor's degree. According to a 2015 fact book, about half of Hunter students graduate in 6 years. Some, like Bakiri, blame their extended college career on financial or personal reasons, but others, like Stephen Cody, blame Hunter.
I haven't been able to get into classes that I needed because there aren't enough seats. There aren't enough classes for all the people in the school.
Like Cody, many students cite a lack of classes as one of the main reasons for the low graduation rates. They say that they cannot register for classes they need because there simply aren't enough sections, especially for bio majors. On average, it takes 5.2 years for a Hunter student to earn a science degree.
They often don't get the classes that they need. Usually it's from freshman year. It's like the Bio 100 class, and you need that class to take all other science classes afterwards. And if you miss that one, you're pretty much, it's not easy to get into the higher level courses, and people have to stay extra years to do that. But most people in science majors are super seniors.
Even students who are not science majors are sometimes held back because they cannot register for the science classes that they need to graduate.
I find that I've struggled the most getting the science classes that I needed, or even psychology classes are kind of hard to get into.
While many factors contribute to the low graduation rate at Hunter and the super senior phenomenon, the #1 reason cited by students was a lack of science classes and labs. When asked why there aren't enough classes, an assistant to the chair of the Department of Biological Sciences says that no one is authorized to speak about the classes except for the chair, Derek Brazil, who was not available for comment. The Registrar's Office, Advising Office, and the Admissions Office all refused to do interviews and redirected questions about graduation rates to other offices. This is Ricardo Montero, Hunter News Now.
Thanks, Ricardo. That really gives you a lot to think about.
Are you getting ready to graduate on time, Nick?
I am, and I'm nervous.
Don't be, you'll be fine. As part of the Campus Equal Rights Amendment Day, the Roosevelt House held a screening and panel discussion on the documentary Equal Means Equal.
Promotes equality.
Congresswoman Carolyn Maloney and Betty Dukes were among the prominent panelists discussing the future of women's rights. The Grove Fellowship and the president of the Equal Rights Amendment Coalition, Jessica Neuwirth, organized the event and expressed optimism about the future.
Same way, this is an incredible opportunity for all of us who are interested in social justice, because the different campaigns are coming together, and that kind of unity is what we've always needed. It gives us strength and it gives us capacity, and I think it will enable us to do a lot more.
The film Equal Means Equal highlights how women are treated in the United States, examining both real-life stories and legal cases. The event concluded with light refreshments and an opportunity for attendees to meet the panelists.
Hunter College has been invited to join the Pulitzer Center Consortium, a collection of 36 schools that gives students access to journalism fellowships and lectures with professional journalists.
It was so bad.
Last month, the Pulitzer Center sponsored a panel at Hunter's Roosevelt House on the European refugee crisis with journalists who reported from the front lines. Gutman Community College students also attended to celebrate their induction into the consortium. Two of the journalists also spoke to Hunter students one-on-one about the reporting process and how to cover underreported stories.
Restraints financially or otherwise hold you back, find a way to make it work.
Students of member schools can apply for a Pulitzer Fellowship to cover those underreported international stories. This year's fellow at Hunter is Amy Russo, who is reporting on how more than 35,000 orphan refugee children are doing in Sweden.
Hunter College hosted its annual Aronson Awards ceremony last week, celebrating the achievements of exceptional social justice, journalism, and cartooning.
Hosted by journalist Caddy Gray, this year's ceremony welcomed keynote speaker and Career Achievement Award recipient Gary Young, who writes for The Guardian. But the night was full of surprises, as the chair of the Film and Media Department received an award for his longtime support of the Aronson Awards.
How does this award affect the department and our program? Well, it really has. It's helped to bring attention to journalism in the department and Hunter College. It's created a new commitment on the part of the administration.
The Aronson Awards honor original reporting that exposes injustices based on race, class, gender, and economic disparity. Coming up on Hunter News Now, award-winning broadcast journalist Andrea Bernstein talks to us about her role as the 2017 Jack Newfield Visiting Professor of Journalism here at Hunter.
Find out more about her Uncovering Power in New York seminar this semester. Stay with us.
Welcome back to Hunter News Now.
Today, we're sitting down with Peabody Award-winning investigative journalist Andrea Bernstein. She's senior editor of politics and policy at WNYC and has covered Bridgegate and the intersection of business and government. Most recently, she broke the Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort's all-cash real estate deal in New York.
Welcome to Hunter News Now, Professor Bernstein. Can you tell us more about the Jack Newfield Fellowship?
Yes, so Jack Newfield was a legendary investigative reporter in New York, and he worked for many outlets. He worked for the Village Voice for a number of years. He worked for the New York Post, also for the Daily News, and he was legendary not only for the stories that he covered, but for the zeal that he brought to journalism, and that he felt journalism should be a tool to hold power accountable and to wrestle facts into the light that people wanted to keep hidden. And he was known, for example, for putting together the 10 worst landlords list in New York, for his coverage of the civil rights movement. And this journalism fellowship was basically started in his honor to teach a new generation of journalists about these techniques of digging really deeply into stories and to bringing facts out into the light that could make our city and our state better for everyone who lives in it.
So can you tell us the things that your students are working on in the class?
Yeah, so we started reading, we started with the biography of Trump by Wayne Barrett, who was another legendary journalist from the Village Voice who worked with Jack Newfield. And unfortunately, Wayne passed away on January 19th, which was the eve of Trump's inauguration. It was one of those historical ironies because Wayne wrote the seminal biography of Trump. As a matter of fact, his biography was first called Trump, the Deals and the Downfall, because it was so early in his career that it was written at the time that he was a disaster in both real estate and gambling. He had lost a lot of money, and Wayne wrote a biography, and we read an excerpt called Tax Break Hotel, which was about the way that Trump manipulated himself into getting a big piece of Manhattan real estate, the Hyatt Hotel, or what is now the Hyatt Hotel on 42nd Street, and where, in order to get that, he convinced both the state that he had financing, which was not true, and the banks that he had state approval, which was not true. He told each party different things. And on the very last day of the administration of Abe Beame, who was the mayor of New York, two people who worked for Donald Trump, one of them was Roy Cohn, who was a Manhattan attorney who was infamous for being an aide to Joe McCarthy, the senator who led the red baiting investigations in the 1950s. So Roy Cohn was one person and Stanley Friedman was, and they were running around trying to get this approval. So we've been looking at that in the class and at how that relates, not only because Trump is president, but how those kinds of deals are happening now in the city that we live in and how to find them.
Well, speaking of Trump, I have a question. How has the public perception of journalism changed since the election?
Well, I mean, I think there's a huge divide. Some people are more committed to journalism than ever. I mean, the New York Times just announced yesterday that they had 300,000 new subscribers in the last quarter, and nonprofit journalism outfits like my own WNYC, ProPublica, have seen a rise in contributions. But by the same token, a large portion of America believes what the president says about fake news. And what you have in this country is a very dangerous divide where people are choosing not only their own opinions, but their own facts.
Right, so just last question. You're an investigative journalist. What advice would you give to investigative journalists who are students and hoping to get into that field?
Well, I think that it is something that the public is very much behind right now, or at least part of the public. There is more zeal than I've seen at almost any time in my career for uncovering facts and getting to the truth. So I think it is a great time to do it, and I think that in some ways, you know, there's a government that has said the press is the enemy of the people, but on the other hand, there's a ability to find out facts that is vast, and a lot of people that want to help in that endeavor, journalists, citizen journalists. So in some ways it's a wonderful time to be an investigative journalist, even though the facts can frequently be distressing.
Yes, definitely. Well, thank you so much for coming on to our show.
Thank you.
Coming up on Hunter News Now, the men's volleyball team is All-American, and the men's tennis team is going to CUNYAC finals.
Also, we meet Nick Brutus, the captain of the Hunter wrestling team and our student athlete of the week. Stay with us.
This year is proving to be an exceptional year for Hunter College sports teams.
Our sports reporter, Ricardo Montero, has the latest on the Hunter Hawks. Ricardo?
Thank you, Nick and Laura. All right, let's get started on an update on the men's volleyball team. After a record-breaking season, the men's volleyball team lost to the #1 seed in the country, Springfield College, and finished their season in the Elite 8 round of the NCAA Division III tournament.
For the first time in 5 years, the Hawks advanced to the second round of the tournament with an overall record of 28-7. This historic season ends with team being ranked number 8 in the country. Captain Joseph Muir was named the CUNYAC Player of the Year, and senior Steven Tarquino was named the 2017 First Team All-American, an honor that a Hunter volleyball player has now received since 2012.
Tarquino is the all-time leader and ranked 4th in the nation in blocks. Our men's tennis team has also been giving us a reason to celebrate.
They will be entering the CUNYAC tournament as the number 2 seed by securing a record of 5 wins to 1 loss in the conference. One of the players that will represent Hunter in the tournament will be sophomore Nasser Ghaffar, who was named the CUNY Ag Player of the Week this month. Ghaffar, along with his team, have earned a first-round bye in the conference tournament. Only Baruch College stands in front of the Hawks. However, over the last 2 years, the team has claimed the CUNY Ag Championship by defeating Baruch both times.
The team will play Baruch in the finals on May 4th at 3 p.m. at Staten Island Community Tennis Center. Best of luck to our Hawks. From the court to the diamond, the Hunter softball team has had a rough year, currently holding a record of 12 wins and 13 losses. But they have been able to win where it counts, securing the number 2 seed in the CUNY Ag Conference, winning 10 games and losing 2. Ranked number 1 is the College of Staten Island, which is undefeated in the conference. The Hawks will face Staten Island on Friday, May 5th. All these student athletes have something in common, the daily struggle to balance their commitments to their team and their schoolwork. Today we want to introduce you to someone who has clearly figured it out. Nick Brutus, the junior from Suffolk County who is the captain of the wrestling team and a pre-med student. Hunter News Now reporter James Kelly caught up with Nick and his profile on the Student Athlete of the Week.
I work out twice a day. On Fridays I volunteer. At night I'm doing research for Stony Brook / Farmingdale, which is on my computer. You know, I have to study, and sometimes I lose track of like, do I have time for myself? But like, I see wrestling as also, you know, a time to just relax and let go. Like, you know, wrestling is also like creative body expression. Like, you can just like move in ways no other athlete can. I'm Nick Brutus. I am the captain of the Hunter College wrestling team, and I'm also an aspiring physician. I started wrestling in 5th grade as something I just wanted to check out. So I tried it one day. At first I wasn't like really into it, but then the next day I realized, hey, this is something that I could, you know, tag along, because when I was younger I did have like family issues, so that was a way for me to like cope with my emotional stress. And you know, through that I gained like long-lasting, I guess, relationships with people that I would never expect to be friends with, and now here they are. Like, I'm still friends with them like 10 years down the line. I was just put in charge of the asthma project, so like I'm trying to see how many patients actually come back for follow-up appointments. Before this, I was actually volunteering to shadow in the other corridors, which is next door to this. Fairly early in my life, I decided to pursue the medical career. When I was somewhere in elementary school, I'm not too sure when, but we had went on like a cruise, and one of the destinations was Haiti, and my father's like, we have to show you like the place that we're from. So, you know, we walked around the village, and I've never seen the level of poor before. After seeing that, I realized like my life is to give back to those that, you know, cannot help themselves, like the people in Haiti that I saw. Not only do I want to help people medically, I want to be able to like teach and like, you know, educate. If I'm able to influence others in a positive way, and they can then spread the positiveness, I guess, to other people, that's how I see success. I know as a human I can only do so much. In wrestling, like, you're not going to win every single match. In the medical field, you know, granted, I may have people that I lose. In school, I might fail a couple of classes, but at the end of the day, it's like I have that one goal that keeps me going every day. So as long as I have that, it's like I can oversee everything that happens and just like be optimistic and I guess drive through and wake up with a cause every morning.
That wraps up this edition of Hunter Sports. Back to you, Nick and Laura.
You know, I was an athlete in high school.
Really? I wasn't.
Oh.
Kind of wish I was though.
Could have been.
Coming up on Hunter News Now, we'll give you a lesson in table manners, take you to the spring formal, and treat you to a special musical guest live in the studio. Stay with us. Welcome back to Hunter News Now. On Hunter News Now this semester, we showed you how to take professional selfies and get the right look with makeup. But have you considered how to fold your napkin at a formal dinner? And if you think you know where and how your bread is buttered, think again. Table manners are back, and thanks to Career Development Services, I was among the students gathered in the faculty dining room on April 5th for some delicious food and important lessons in dining etiquette.
Always wear your name tag over over your right hand. Do you hear me now? Well, you were real wrong, huh? Over your right hand. I'm Joyce Connolly Simmons. I see all these people here with bread on their plate. Nobody knows how to eat bread and butter? Okay. You don't take your bread and cut it in half and smooth the butter all over it and then cram it in your face. Okay? Only a bite-sized piece. You're wrong. Okay. I've been doing this for more than 30 years at the City College of New York. I ran a program called the Role Model Program. Since no one had time to do it when I worked full-time, I now do it as a volunteer, and I continue to do etiquette training and workshops as a part of that program. That initially was something that I hired someone to do, the etiquette part. But when that person couldn't do it anymore, all those years ago, I started to do it and found it was a lot of fun. Rectangle or triangle, the fold is next to your body. Raise the fold, clean your fingers, and put the fold back down. And what happens? You have what? No mess and a clean napkin. The 10-4, according to Emily Post, is the way you close your plate. And you can, in your head, imagine that your plate is a clock. This would be the 10, this would be the 4, this would be the 6, and that would be the 12. Got it? Okay. So your knife would point to the 10, and the end of your fork would point to the 4, and that would be the 10-4. The way you would leave your plate if you've completed your meal. That's called closing your plate. The 4. That would be the 12, and this would be the 6. 10-4. All right, I like you smart people. And another thing, after you've followed your host and you've had your meal and closed your plate, I would think it would be very important for you to say thank you to the host. So I would suggest that you write a thank you note. And thank you notes are generally not cards, but they are handwritten notes. Connolly Simonized, so that's what you have been. Connolly Simonized. Bon appetit.
As for which fork to use when, you work from the outside in. The salad fork is smaller and is on the outside. Oh, and one more thing, there is no place for this at the dining room table.
I mean, we're really doing Emily Post proud. Hunter's Undergraduate Student Government Board hosted its annual spring formal Friday night at the Faculty Lounge. CUNY and non-CUNY students gathered for a night of dancing and conversation in a safe environment. This year, students and their guests ditched their jeans, t-shirts, and caps for a semi-formal attire at USG's theme party called A Night in Hollywood. Music and fashion combined with food and champagne to make the evening magical. The in-house DJ plays some of today's biggest hits and some party classics. From the Cupid Shuffle to the Cha-Cha Slide, students let loose on the dance floor. And that's not all. Guests were able to capture this picture-perfect moment by putting on props and posing at the photo booth station. With over 200 guests in attendance, students say this free event by Hunter's Undergraduate Student Government Board was one of the last chances to really let loose before exams began. Well, that concludes this edition of Hunter News Now. We'll see you for a last show at May 18th.
Joining us now to help say goodbye with a live music performance is Hunter sophomore and media studies major Alexa Zaramatidis.
Alexa will be performing on May 21st at the Relay for Life in Long Island. Take it away, Alexa.
I'm staring at the paint on a drywall. I hope for shades of pink, purple, and emerald. 'Cause living with a stone in my heart that nobody sees, I'm a picture to please. But that picture's blinded by a sea of gold. It took so long to win me back. The change I fear is changing that. You cost me my mind in time, then it'd make sense. I'm not a fool, and I've played your game, but it would be nice if you stayed. If you stayed. I wanna feel the pain on the inside. Did forever just mean I needed you at the time? I'm living with a shade in my eyes, 'cause I cannot see my picture to please. But that picture's blinded by a sea of gold, a longing, enthralling song. It's about you. I disguise mine in time, safe from the truth. Well, you cost me my mind in time, then it'd make sense. I'm not a fool, and I've played your game, but it would be nice. It's a sight to see, a sight for down the road, and I know it's best for me, best not to go. But I love the thrill, even if it kills me. You cost me my mind in time, and it'd make sense.